Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Soul's Nurse. And in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing something I've been sharing a lot in my reels lately, and that is how our mind and our consciousness is very much like a computer program. And although that can sound a little techy or too sciencey, I promise that once you start getting it, it will completely change the way that you see life, that you view life. I know it helped me on my healing journey, and that is why I share with you now. And yeah, grab your favorite beverage, cacao, coffee, tea, whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable and cozy. And we'll get right in. We're going to dive right in. Think of your mind as a very sophisticated computer program. From the moment you're born, even before that, you start to receive codes. These codes may come from your parents, your lineage, obviously your DNA, from ancestral um, trauma, your parental trauma, beliefs of your culture, environment, which tap into epigenetics. And I'm going to share epigenetics in just a moment. But all these codes get programmed as a data and stored in your DNA and in the consciousness of your mind, which we all have a mind, we all have a brain, and we all have a consciousness. Every single experience gets stored as data, and that data becomes the program that then runs your consciousness. Okay, so now we're going to get into the epigenetics, and I've got some notes here that I want to read to you. First, I'm going to read what epigenetics is from the scientific definition, and then how it supports healing work today. So, what is epigenetics? Epigenetics refers to changes in gene expression, how genes are turned on or turned off without altering the underlying DNA sequence. So, it doesn't change the physical DNA, but it changes and it influences how those genes may operate. So, in relevance to healing work, epigenetics shows how the environment, emotions, and lifestyle can influence gene expression, aligning science with holistic healing. It supports the belief that transformation and conscious change can reshape not only the mind, but also the body's molecular reality. So there you have it. Every single experience gets stored as data, and that data becomes the program that your consciousness runs on. So when something triggers you, or when you keep repeating the same relationship patterns, that's not random. That's your system running an old script or an old program. Your mind's algorithm is constantly scanning your environment to find information that matches what it already knows. And if your internal program says, I'm not safe, your mind will filter the world to confirm that. If your program says, I'm not enough, your mind will look for evidence to prove that it's true. Sometimes this may be from experiences that you have in this lifetime. And like I just mentioned previously, sometimes this data or this program running is actually not even ours, and it's more environmental, cultural, beliefs, ancestral. And this program or this data is actually the one running our lives now. And that's why so many of us feel stuck, not because the world is against us, but because we're operating from an outdated system. Okay, so now we get into the juicy part, the ego. The ego is like a security system for the program that's running. It's there to protect the program. It doesn't want change because change feels like death to it, and it's afraid of deletion. So when you start healing, doing inner work, or sitting with medicine, the ego freaks out. It throws you into loops, into overthinking, into fear, confusion, trying to pull you back into the old code or the old programming. This is what I call the ego loop or the mind maze. It's when your thoughts start chasing themselves, analyzing, overanalyzing, overthinking, doubting, panicking, and that loop feels so real, but it's not the truth of your consciousness. It's just the old code fighting for survival, fighting for it not to be deleted. True medicine, whether that's plant medicine, meditation, breath work, or shadow work, doesn't create chaos. It brings clarity. It shows you exactly what needs to be seen without confusion. So when you're stuck in the loop, the invitation is not to fix it, but to observe it. to see it as part of your programming and choosing not to keep feeding it. Okay, now we get into the good stuff. How do we reprogram this thing? Now, here's where your power comes in. You can reprogram your mind. Your mind is moldable. That's why there is neuroplasticity. We can reshape our mind. We can fix the program. We can create a new program. Just like updating software on your phone or on your computer, your consciousness can be rewritten through awareness, repetition, energy, inner work, shadow work. So, step one is awareness. You have to know what programs are running. And in my mentorships, we bring everything up to the surface. We bring awareness to everything that is currently happening in our lives. Because in order for us to start deleting the old codes, to start unplugging wires that we no longer need, we need to first be aware of what program and what codes are running. So we first need to bring it to the awareness and to observe them. You have to know what programs are running. So ask yourself, what do I believe about love? What do I believe about myself? What beliefs have I been carrying? What do I believe about money, about safety, about my worth? Those are answers that reveal your source code or old codes that may be running. And those are not the only questions that you could ask yourself. There's many, many more. Step two is inner work, healing those emotional imprints. You can't just rewrite the words. You have to feel where that belief lives in your body. This is where somatic practices come into play. Breathing through it and releasing the charge. Breath work is always a really, really great practice to tap into. And step three is repetition and embodiment. New beliefs don't take root just by saying affirmations once. You have to embody them through daily action, daily practice. It's like working out. You won't build a specific muscle area if you only work on that muscle once, right? You have to do reps, you have to do sets of weight and increase weight in order to retrain that muscle. So, through new choices that align with your higher self, your new programming that you want to put into place and not your old patterns. Every time you act from love instead of fear, you're updating your algorithm. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, your program shifts. And slowly you begin to experience a new reality that reflects your new frequency. The truth is, you are not the program. You are just the consciousness running it. When you start to see the mind for what it is, a beautiful tool, not your identity, you begin to awaken. You realize you're not your thoughts, not your traumas, not even your personality. You're the awareness behind all of it, the observer, the divine intelligence watching the program unfold. And from that place, you can start to consciously design your life. You can choose what software to install, whether it's love, peace, abundance, purpose. You can install fear, scarcity, and self doubt too. That's what I mean when I say the real healing is not changing who you are. It's remembering who you've always been beneath those old codes and beneath that old programming. So, how do you begin integrating all of this? Start by observing your daily patterns. Notice what you say to yourself. Notice when you shrink, when you defend, when you compare. Write those patterns down. Bring them to your awareness because those are the lines of the code that need updating. And then write new ones. For example, I am safe, I am worthy, I am loved, I am the creator of my reality. And don't just say them, embody them. Let your actions, your energy, and your words match your new program and match your new frequency. The mind follows repetition, but the soul follows truth. And when the two start to come into alignment, that's when life starts to shift. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to dive deeper. You can join me for mentorships, for integration, or one of my upcoming Cacao circles here in Dallas, Texas, where we bridge the science of the mind, plant medicine, and the spirit of healing. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this spoke to your heart or if you think somebody that you know may want to hear this.